Okay, now we're starting.
Mic check.
Okay, that's a good mic check. That works.
Mic check.
I really wish we could have used that fan. It's so freaking hot in here.
Mic check.
It's not with mic checking. It's mic checked. I can already hear it.
Check mic.
Okay, we're good. I can actually hear it. It's so hot in here.
Lyndon's gonna die.
I am. I'm sweating. I'm
I'm
going.
not gonna kill him.
It's like I'm going through menopause.
Yes, you're having hot flashes. Well, bro, first of all, you have full on like running, like jogging pants.
Yeah, it's because
And
they're
you're wearing
comfortable.
socks that could protect your feet in the snow.
I mean, yeah, I guess more or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
They're more for arch support, because
Got
I got the
armor.
sensitive feet of a ballerina.
Socks don't give you arch support.
They do give you arch support.
How?
They're like
What?
I don't know how to explain it
What?
without saying like I'm a representation of a fucking sock company.
Okay.
But they put more knitting into the center of it, so you get
Oh,
a
where
tighter
the arch
squeeze.
is?
Yeah, so it gives you a tighter squeeze around that. Yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
yeah. So it's like a kung fu grip, but for your arch.
More like, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, fine, whatever.
saying,
You're
don't
still
dog-
dressed from head to toe.
Don't dog it.
I'm
till you
wearing
try it.
shorts.
Yes. You know why
And
I'm. You know
I'm
what? You know.
bigger than
But
you.
you know why I'm dressing from head to toe? Because winter is coming.
What is that, Jon Snow?
Because
Winter is
that.
coming?
Wait, no. What was Jon Snow's dad?
Fucked if I know.
Ned Stark.
Ned Stark?
Yeah, Ned Stark. Yeah,
I
Ned Stark.
only remember
Winter's coming.
Stark because I was like, are these Tony Stark's ancestors?
One does not simply say winter is coming. in those
White
in
Walkers.
those memes.
That still was the shittiest ending. I don't care what anybody says. I did not like the ending.
Did you actually finish it?
I didn't really. Okay, I'm a terrible person. I didn't watch every single episode.
I got really far, and then I
Goat?
literally missed the last two.
I watched like bits and pieces of like the last 3 seasons
Wait,
because it was the
did-
same shit.
Did you say goat or is it got? It's got.
Got to goat.
Got's
well,
not
people
goat.
are saying goat.
Game of
Game
a
of
throne.
Thrones. No, Game of Thrones.
But that's
But
GOT.
I know, but do you know what goat means?
Yes,
What does it mean?
greatest of all time.
Yeah, goat.
Ah, God,
yeah,
whatever.
see,
Trash.
it
No.
just works.
No, Drake.
Fucker.
All right, you kicking this off or am I kicking this off? You
Am
kick
I-
this off.
Oh, I'm kicking this off?
because I did it last time.
Hello, everybody. This is D.
And this is Lynn.
We are Project Airwaves.
Back at it again.
Back.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 20.
Today is today, and tomorrow is tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
But we will never see yesterday again.
Oh my God.
Everything's broken.
Everything's broken. We're starting a pretty optimistic episode, I guess, trying to prepare for what's to come within the next
What? Few weeks? Shit.
few weeks, man.
Few weeks to a month or two.
Dude, this I know it sounds weird, but this year I feel like blew by so freaking fast.
This year died.
It did.
okay?
It did. With
died
all the
early.
quarantine and self lockdowns and stuff like that, I feel like I haven't done shit. But
Nah.
then I realized when I keep looking at my clock, I'm like, oh, it's already August. Oh, it's already September.
Right.
We're in the middle of October already.
Right.
Halloween is right around the corner.
Weird because it doesn't feel that way. Like even though it's October, I feel like maybe it's the end of August. We're still a little warm over here. We're still in the 90s.
It's in the 90s, yeah.
But we're cooling down a little bit. It's cold in the morning.
It's cold in the
Decent
mornings.
in the afternoon.
It's hitting like in the 70s. I notice
Right.
when I've been getting up to go to work, because now that I work in the mornings, by the time I get out of my house, like if I'm working at the beach,
Yeah.
I'll have like a short sleeve shirt and shorts
Yeah.
for the beach because I'm outside in the sun all day. The last few days, I've actually been wearing my normal work pants.
Yes.
Because it's like, fuck, I get out the house, like, damn, it's fucking cold out.
Yeah, it's nippy.
Yeah.
Only in the morning though. Like as soon as the afternoon comes around, we're dipping into like the high 80s, low 90s, mid 90s,
Right.
which is fine. It's weird for this time of year technically, but we've kind of gotten used to it. Call it global warming, the Earth getting closer to the sun, further away from the sun, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like winter for us really sets in towards the end of October.
It does. We have such a short winter. Like Vegas runs summer year round, and then you get 3 months of winter,
Yeah.
a week of spring, and then it goes right back to
Well,
summer
it's,
again. We don't
it's
get
not
a fall.
even winter. It's like winter and fall at the same time
Mm-hmm.
because you have the winter where it'll just be, I'd say like November through December, where it's just like cold.
January too, man. January
but
is
it's
rough.
just ice cold.
Yeah.
So then January rolls around, and then we start getting that windy cold,
Yeah, the windy cold.
where
That's
it's like
true.
it's not gonna snow,
No.
but it's chilly enough to cut through whatever you're wearing.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
it's
double
like
layer up.
They bleed. The seasons just bleed into one another without really any real transition.
What I was gonna try and say is because Vegas tries to run everything year round. Is because, like I said, now that I've been on day shift, I've been working at the beach,
Yes.
and since the pool season's coming to an end,
Oh, yes.
the casinos are trying to figure out how to change. They're trying to keep up with it because our casino right now, it's where most of our money's coming from.
Right.
Because
normally you guys would be doing holiday shit.
Yeah, holiday shit. You know, we'd have the clubs going on or restaurants playing stuff, but since everything's still relatively closed, I don't know if I told you they're trying to turn that beach into a skating rink. They want to.
I mean, it makes sense.
They want to freeze over that giant wave pool and then turn it into an ice skating rink because the Cosmopolitan does it on the rooftop, which is pretty dope. Like
downtown Summerlin.
Downtown Summerlin, I did that last year, the year before, and that one was pretty cool. The Cosmopolitan, I like one is because they have a giant movie screen and you can watch like. It's always old movies like Home Alone and stuff like that. They'll play Christmas movies, but they have like little fire pits. You pay $15 to get a ice skates, and then you can go sit at a fire pit and roast marshmallows.
Oh, that's
drink
cute.
Hot chocolate. It's cool, man.
I want to do that.
It's a very festival thing to do. As far as my property, I don't know. They're gonna freeze all that over and then turn one of the beach clubs into like a hot tub area. They're trying to use it year round because if the pool closes in November, and it doesn't open back up until March, they've got 4 or 5 months of just empty space.
Yeah, it's nothing.
And
happening.
That's where all the money was coming from because there's no conventions still.
Yeah.
I mean, there is like there's random ass conventions. Like one of them was like a foot doctor's convention or something like that. They're reaching how to support a bunion or something.
Well, it was funny because I saw a bunch of. I was driving. I want to say like a month or two ago, and it was like a little mini like car club convention, like a little lowriders convention. And it was funny because I was driving by. I was like, I didn't know there was a car dealership here. And I looked closer. I was like, those are awfully sparkly. And I was like, oh wait, no offense, there's cholos. Okay, never mind. This is a lowrider meetup.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
cool.
because
hey, bros, y'all got some awesome whips out there.
Yeah, it's the Raider Nation and stuff like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I see it. Trust me, I see it always across because of the stadium being built.
Look, guys, I okay. Look, I love each and every person on this earth. Okay, I don't hate 99.9% of you out there. However. Okay, Raiders fans, we live in Vegas. We just built the whole fucking stadium for the Raiders, and then the pandemic hit. They're still coming out here, though.
We're getting a lot of people from California.
And I know it's that Raider blood coursing through their veins and shit, whatever they want to say.
Dude,
but we don't need it.
It's not even... I remember passing by the billboard at my job, and it says, "Welcome to Raider Nation," and it puts in parentheses at the bottom, "Good luck."
Yeah.
It's like they know it's going to cause problem, but it's bringing in business.
Yes.
We have no business. As locals...
But
locals,
that's the problem.
The locals don't spend any money. We're
so greedy.
They would rather have business
Yes.
and make the city thrive off of bad business
Yes.
than have no business and the whole city
because
implode on
the thing
itself.
is, they don't take care of the business they got.
No.
As locals, and I say this about anywhere, when you live somewhere, especially your entire fucking life, you should just get like egregious discounts for stuff. Like, okay, I get it.
You survive staying in this town long enough without it corrupting you.
Maybe not 90% off, but hey, you get 40% off as where someone from out of town might only get like 10% off.
Yeah.
Type stuff. I go to a store and it's like locals only for today's sale, show your ID at the door. We give you a 50% off coupon. Something that makes it cool and kind of put you ahead of everybody else. You live here. This is my hometown. That's what I rep when I go somewhere. It's like, hey, where you from? I'm from Las Vegas. Don't talk shit. But when you actually live here, you don't get shit.
No, you don't get
When
anything.
you visit, you get everything. You get fucking comp tables and bottles and shit.
Because, like I said, we're not giving them anything in order to get them
because we're trying to live.
We're trying to live here.
Spending all of our money on bills.
On bills and groceries and
we can't
habitats.
gamble.
Yeah, so having to gamble, it turns into a different thing.
Yes.
I've noticed more times than not that we have a lot of people coming from California, and it sucks to say. It's like, I'm not trying to dog or diss on anybody that is from California.
Of course not.
But you're getting a lot of the bottom of the barrel.
You really are.
These hotels are charging at god awful prices. Like you can get a hotel room for like less than $100 a night now.
Aren't even clean.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but they're not.
And they're getting these rooms for the lowest rate possible.
Yes,
and there's
pennies on the dollar.
But then you get the bottom barrel. You get the ratchet and the ghetto that come in there and they want to cause fights and turn into these huge things. And now that you have Raider Nation and stuff, it's cool to have a sports team here because it does bring money to the city, which in terms shit starts opening back up. We have more things that we can buy, and we start to get more places open because that stadium. But the pros and cons are, yes, we're getting more revenue, but now we're also getting higher crime.
Right. Well, and at the same time, my cost of living is still going up day by day.
That's true.
Shit didn't get cheaper because the Raiders moved.
Dude,
here.
I remember how much were we paying for when we had the apartment off of
when we first moved out?
Was it not Oasis? Not Oasis. What was it called?
When we first moved out?
Yeah, across from the Mini Grand Prix.
Yeah, that was Oasis Landing. No, that was Oasis Gateway.
That for a 2-bedroom apartment was like $900.
We were paying like $950 for a dual master.
For dual masters.
Dual master.
Now
upstairs.
the dual master that I'm staying in is like $1,300. $1,300.
That's sad.
Yeah,
it's fucking insanity, and that's what I mean. It's like the cost of living doesn't go down. Yes, minimum wage went up a little bit, but at the same time, you technically shouldn't want to live off a minimum wage. Let's just put the fucking facts out there. Minimum wage is just enough for a teenage kid, for someone new to town to, pick up, get their feet off the ground and keep it pushing. It's for you to get to your next job. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be comfortable living off a minimum wage.
No, but
you know what I mean? But it feels like even when you're making good money, you're making minimum wage because you're still broke as fuck.
You're still broke as fuck at the end of the day. Yeah, you gotta pick up extra shifts and do overtime. I mean, even for me, like I'm making over minimum wage, and even with my salary, including the overtime, I still don't have enough money to hang off the back burner.
Because here's yet again another loophole. If you work too much overtime, it puts you in a higher tax bracket. Mm-hmm. So they're just gonna snatch all that extra OT, and you pretty much have a regular check with no taxes. Mm-hmm. That's not a fair trade to me. So not only am I getting boned because I'm losing time, I'm getting boned on my money too because I should have been making more, but Uncle Sam says I should be paying him more, so he took more and I didn't get more.
So to hit on one of the topics that we're going to talk about today, what do you think is going to change after November 1st? After we're not really going to jump into politics about Democrats or Republicans,
get too deep into
but
it.
Everybody has the conspiracy or the mindset that once November 1st hits, we find out who our next president is going to be.
Yes,
COVID will be cured. There will be. I'm serious. Like people are saying COVID will be cured. There will be no more issues. Everything will open up.
Yes.
Like okay, so my perspective.
Go for it.
I think afterwards, everything will be open back up. At least in Las Vegas. I don't know about other places. I know like Florida and stuff like that. They already are open. It
depends who wins.
It does. And I was talking to one of the guys at work, and he said the same thing. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have riots right off the bat because
I hope not.
Nobody wants Trump to come back. But the people that do want him to come back are gonna celebrate, but then you have people rioting because of it.
Here's my issue with people who want Trump to come back or don't come back. Y'all didn't vote him in office. Mm-hmm. Okay, he got brought into office through the Electoral College. I don't give a fuck what you say. We all know what happened behind the scenes. The Electoral College got Trump into office. So those people are like, oh, if he gets a second term, I'm going to lose my shit. Lose your shit anyway. You should have been losing your shit when Obama was about to leave office. You should have been losing your shit when Bush was about to leave office. Because the thing is, if you really pay attention to it, we went from George Bush, who sounded like a fucking idiot, but at least the man was smart enough to make some, not all, but some good calls. You had Obama, who sounded amazing, looked amazing, and made good decisions. Maybe not for everybody. You can't win them all. And now we have Trump, which is like a fucking clown. He just walked out.
What are your thoughts on if Biden gets in?
I want to see real change. That's my thing. I honestly, as far as COVID goes, COVID will end when it's killed enough people, when it's made enough money.
Well, that's another thing that we're trying to figure out is if the new year comes through, if there's going to be a new mutation, a new strain, because now that we're going into winter again,
right?
People are afraid a flu's going to come. Are you going to call every flu fucking...
That was the huge misconception about summer. Trump was all like, oh, summer's coming and heat kills it. It's been known to kill the yada, yada, yada. We still got it. Yeah. Summer's over, pimping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not at 110 degrees boiling.
It's such a fluctuation.
The facts are all over the place. And really quick, something I heard and it kind of bothered me. So we have the World Health Organization. Mm-hmm. When COVID first hit the scene, one of the first big facts they came out with was if you're asymptomatic, you're more likely to transmit and you won't even know it. You won't feel it, yada, yada, yada. And then, what was it? I think like a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, there was an interview with one of the representatives from the WHO, the World Health Organization, and they said asymptomatic people are not only less likely to transfer it, okay, less likely to transfer it, you're also less likely to get it. Mm-hmm. Which is mind-blowing to me because it's just like, wait.
It kind of makes you like...
that was a complete 180.
It's like, I don't know why I thought this up, but I'm watching Blade on Hulu. It's like you're a day walker. You have the ability to give it to somebody,
right,
and have the strength and power to pass it on to the people that don't want to have it. But then you also have the ability that you're immune to it at the same time.
You're right. It's annoying because you would have thought it came from China. Mm-hmm. Okay, the first thing we all should have done was been like, okay, everybody, drop your guns, drop your bombs. Let's just all sit down and talk. Let's fix fucking COVID, and then we'll go back to status quo. Mm-hmm. Before COVID, we were worried about Korea. We were worried about Russia. We were worried about nuclear power plants in Japan. We were worried about all this stuff. And none of it's been reconciled just because COVID hit the scene. Once COVID goes away,
it'll all go back.
All of it comes back. Yeah. So when people ask me about the presidency, it's great, and I'm happy people want to vote and want to see who the next president is, and we don't want Donald Trump to get in office. But at the end of the day, whoever gets into office is just going to keep going forward with the way shit was pre-COVID.
You're not going to get any significant change. It all sucks to say, but regardless if you put one person of power inside there,
it doesn't matter.
But it can't be like what is it? Is South Korea where Kim Jong-un was?
Yeah, South Korea.
It can't become a dictatorship.
You can't have anything that has one person and or a handful of people running an entire country is a dictatorship. It's a Führer. It's a presidency. It's a kingship. It's a queenhood. It's a fucking whatever you want to call it. No country, no group of people is meant to be ran by one person. You can have leaders. Don't get it twisted. We all sometimes need a leader because there's a lot of us with a voice that want to be heard.
Right.
That's different from having one person that represents an entire country supposedly leading that country. So even with Biden, we all should be uncomfortable with Biden with the way he touches kids and the sniffing and the kissing and the...
It's just, you know what, even if we try to bypass all of that, it's like, do you think he'll live past those?
That's what I mean. He already looks old as dirt.
Somebody, there was a meme or a post of it being that Biden his face looks like history itself.
Yes.
Like he's experienced, like he's a vampire coming back from the dark ages.
They're going to inaugurate the man, and then you're going to hear the funeral procession behind this motherfucker, because he's just going to eat it. I get it. You know, you have to be so old to be the president. I think you have to be it's 45 or 50 some odd years old minimum to become the president of the United States. I get it. We want to make sure you have enough life experience, political experience.
They're up there, though. Resume. I mean, both of them are at 70 right now.
Donald Trump is damn near 70, if not a little over 70.
He's over 70, and so is Biden.
He's skating. So here's my thing. Why wouldn't we try to be kind of getting someone younger in the office who's not, A, a part of the upper demographic of people who can catch COVID, and B, maybe a little fresher mind, a fresher perspective on the world today. Donald Trump grew up in the fucking 60s, 70s. He grew up in an old time era. Okay? We don't live like that no more. People don't think that way anymore, and people don't even talk the way they used to talk. We all have a different outlook on the world. I'm not saying put an 18-year-old kid straight out of high school in there.
Right.
But, I mean, can we get maybe a nice little 45-year-old cat? Maybe a just, hop the fence to 50 cat? No, we got the dudes that are 1 foot and 3 toes in the grave. I'm not comfortable with that. But it is what it is. As far as change, or what I think is going to happen,
label 3. Pick 3 things that you think that'll change from November to January.
COVID will change most definitely, whether it goes on the rise or the decrease. COVID will definitely have some type of major impact on something.
Correct.
The economy is going to take probably one of the worst hits, if not already.
You think you think we'll get more of a significant drop?
Yes, because we somehow out of nowhere, and I haven't done all of my research, but this just kind of caught me out of nowhere that we just had a coin shortage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of places won't even touch it.
Right before this, you had people running in and out of Walmart, the bank, anywhere that would take coins, cashing in coins for money. They were like, get rid of your coins, get rid of this, get rid of your gold, or blah, 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 blah. And so it's like, how do we all of a sudden have a coin shortage as where they were trying to convince people to get rid of their coins beforehand to trade it all in for cash because coins were losing their value and blah, blah, blah.
Everything's practically turning into like a form of cryptocurrency now.
Right. So, for me, that a random coin shortage, the stock market is pretty much doing the cowabunga. It's just up and down on a daily basis.
I started trying to invest into looking in stocks and stuff like that. And I even saw, I mean, with everything that happened once COVID hit, I know Tesla was like, you were getting shares of only having to put down $100 to $200 and getting like a $2,000 to $3,000 increase to like $400 gets you almost $5,000, and the shares rating so high to where they would drop back down and split into threes.
My company's shares took a 2-point hit. They went down by 2 points, or however you.
Because it's the delivery and stuff like that.
And so it's logistics. So it's one of those things where everybody's going to take a hit. My thing is, like I said before in previous episodes, we're seeing the holes in the system where it was built for these big companies to stay afloat regardless of the sea level. But now the sea level is rising, and the only reason they were staying afloat was because we were holding them up.
Yeah.
So now that we are just delegated or relegated to ourselves and holding each other up, these companies are like, oh, well, where's our money? We still got to get paid.
They're still trying to find,
want to get our pay.
Right.
Because it still perplexes me to this day why people are still getting evicted when they don't, when we have a, I'm sorry, let me bring that back. When our unemployment rate is above 0%, I will say that again. Our unemployment rate is above 0%, which means almost half of the country is out of work. Okay, we're I think 20 some odd percent, 30 some odd percent unemployment. There should be no reason I can get evicted from my home. Be in an apartment, a house, a box, a car. I don't give a shit. There should be no reason that all of our bills have not gone to zero. We still have to dish out money. I still got to pay my car note. I still got to pay the power company. But yet, we're in the midst of an epidemic. Something that we didn't cause, something we have no control over. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
I agree.
Yes, the economy is going to take a bigger hit than it has. If not, will continue to take a hit until whatever has to work itself out. As far as number 3 goes, I can't say for sure just because I want us all to come out on this, come out of this better. I want us to come out a better United States of America than we did going in. But we haven't changed. If anything, we've gotten worse. We still have black people running up on folks, yelling at them, accusing them of crimes they never committed, wanting them to kneel and hold up the fist and all this dumb shit. We still got motherfucker terrorists running around causing problems that don't need to be caused. We have arsonists running around starting fires in California and God knows where else, causing these huge ass brush fires. You know, we have a lot of fucking nonsense going on, and that's the biggest thing I would like to see change. The nonsense kind of just tone down. There should be no reason a gender reveal is causing $1 billion fire. You know what I mean? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, catch our previous episode. It's just one of those things. I want to see us get better. I do.
Do you feel better that you got that out of your system?
I feel better that I said it. I'll feel even more better if it happens.
I feel like your power level just went over 9,000 right there. There's a lot going on.
I peaked.
I might have peed a little. There's a little bit. That was quite the tangent going on. I was like, I feel like I'm on the other side of
I'm full of it, bro.
This desk isn't big enough to separate the both of us.
Full of it,
it's like having a bear trying to attack you.
What would you like to see change, my dude?
You know what? And I had something pending, and now it's like not even close to that. Mine's just like my inner fatty coming out. Like, I'd like to be able to go and sit at a restaurant and eat some really nice food. Because I'd like to go and be able to go see a movie and not have to worry about getting sick or
COVID affected me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get on that about your little bit of a COVID scare and
shit.
I don't know, for my peak 3s. I do want normalcy to come back where I want everybody to be able to get to be able to go back to work, like fully go back to work, not this percentage to where you can only work a certain amount of hours because the company is short on money or like capacity wise. I want everything to be open back up 100%. Not this fucking, I know they upped it to now social gatherings can be up to 250 people.
Still garbage.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference. Like I'm working at a pool 4 to 5 days out of the week, doing security for the beach before I even go into the casino. And the law doesn't make any sense to me to where you have to tell these people to wear masks when they're coming and going from the water. In between sips or drinks or smoking, they have to bring the mask up and down. But then they get in the water, and there's hundreds of people. They're elbow to elbow, touching each other. Socializing with no mask on. Because, of course, you don't want them to fucking get waterboarded and drown.
Dollar signs.
Yeah, so it defeats... I get the law, and I get the concept of it, but just get rid of it. Because it's not... You're picking and choosing the equivalent of... I have to wear a mask while I'm flying in the air, opposed to if I'm wearing a mask standing on the ground. There's no.
They gave us no alternative.
There's no alternative.
There's no mask friendly activity.
No, exactly. So you're very limited on what you can and can't do.
Hiking in a mask.
Yes,
I'm not going. Going to the gym.
Going to the gym. You know, I was at the gym yesterday, and it's like they're making it more lax, where it's like they're kind of just letting you work out on whatever you want. The color system kind of got thrown out the window, but they still will come up to you and ask you like, hey, you know, just because. A lot of people don't even know what OSHA is. What OSHA does, but you know, we get OSHA scares and health department scares all the time at the casinos because they want to make sure they're meeting requirements. And I was at the gym yesterday and I had one of the tenants come up to me and say, hey, you know, I know you know the mask policies because you are here frequently. Just can you make sure it's within the vicinity so if someone from OSHA sees it, I can't even get mad at them.
Looks like you're trying.
I can't even get mad at them, but it's not fair to them because
they're just trying to enforce. They're trying to enforce what they were told.
A rule that is so useless that it's not.
It is. I'm sorry, guys. It is. The masks are useful. They are a great preventative measure.
But they're being used at the wrong time. Like I said,
people don't even fucking wear them right.
If they're wearing them at the wrong way, or they're in a vicinity where they want to wear them, like I said, standing above ground or in a pool right next to each other, when they're not, you're still...
I saw a video of a guy, I'm not gonna call him a redneck. He had a little bit of a country twang, a drawl, and he was coming out of some type of like Walmart or something store, and he's wearing this mask, and I was like, that looks cool. And then you look a little closer, and it's got a border. It covers his whole face, but the whole thing is a grill. The inside is just like a metal mesh, so it's not even an actual mask. He's like, I got this mask. He's like, this for paintballing. He said, I'll walk through that store. These people are a bunch of idiots. I died. And I'm like, yes, because if it looks like a mask, they don't even check.
No.
They're not even like, hey, is this was it WHO approved or CDC approved or anything?
It's just
they're just like, oh,
it's not gonna stop what's happening. It's just gonna... Sorry, I'm eating candy.
Yes.
Would you like a Sour Patch?
No.
Why? They're really good.
No, because they're sour.
But they're watermelon
and then
flavored.
They're sweet.
Why are you advertising? It's not like we get sponsored by this shit.
Because I'm feeling like I'm going to eat one. I'm going to wake up and one's going to be hanging over my head with all my locks in his hand.
As if it cut your hair and then gives you
he's just going to hand me the scissors and be like...
And then gives you a hug afterwards. So, yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
I probably shouldn't eat these on things. There's one thing I wanted to start doing was the taste testing, but...
Yes. Oh, Lynn got some what are they? Fruit Loop Pop-Tarts. Those look so good. We're going to try those hopefully next episode. We're going to try those. I'm going to try and find some weird shit. I've been going online to like we're talking about hot ones.
So I want to try doing the Pocky, the spicy chip.
Yes. Did you hear about the weird flavored drinks? So do you remember Joe's? It looked.
Oh
like
yeah, the soda cans.
The soda cans.
Yeah.
So
the soda bottles. Sorry.
It's like Joe's, but it's weird flavors. It's like Cool Ranch or salad dressing.
I want to try them. Yes, ugh. I want to try them. I feel like we're gonna make a name. I was trying to lean up towards the name Tis Tasty. Yeah, like something to go with it being like we're gonna be trying these foods because I'm a fatty.
T&B. Try not the barf. That's what we'll do.
I'm a fatty at heart, so I love my snacks. But going forward for that, we'll jump into the next topic. But yeah, my main things, 3 real quick is I want everything to open up 100% so people can actually get back to having a normal life.
Right.
Make the mask policy optional or mandatory. Not optional, mandatory. Optional, meaning like if you want to wear it for your own safety to kind of prevent it, do it. But don't enforce it in the terms of every property and every location enforces it differently. Like it's mandatory to wear a mask in any location. Anywhere you go to the gas station, they have a sign saying you have to wear it. But, you know, my brother and my dad just went back to Utah like a couple weeks ago to a month ago, and they went into the gas station with the masks on, and the gas station attendant looked at them like, "Why are you wearing these?"
Yeah,
because you don't have to. You don't have to wear them in Utah. That's the neighboring
I've
state.
seen people walk into the store here not giving a fuck.
Yeah, so it's like places are very particular for what they want to do. So if you're not going to enforce it all the way across the board,
just get rid of it.
Just get rid of it. Stop picking, because when I have to try to explain to guests why we have to do it, and they're like, "Well, I didn't have to wear it over here," I was like, "You're right. I think it's stupid. I'm not saying I don't agree with you, but it's my job. I have to tell you this. If not, I don't have a fucking job."
Right. Then yet we have security guards getting shot over telling people to wear masks. Moving forward,
we'll go for our. I guess I don't know. You want to go first?
Really quick. Okay, so I've been tested now twice for COVID. Twice. So the first, I call them a scare. The first scare I had, my girlfriend, where she works, she's in, has a lot of physical contact with people. I work from home, thankfully. But her job had a scare. So we had to quarantine for 2 weeks. This was probably around April, May-ish.
When everything first popped off,
kind of started going back to work. So that was a scare. Me, her, and our 4-year-old had to get tested. Thankfully, we were negative across the board. Fast forward a few months, our church closed down. We had to quickly, just leave the premises and get everything moved as quickly as possible. So we had probably about 10 of us. It wasn't an exorbitant amount of people. It was about 10 of us max, packing, loading up storage units, driving U-Hauls, you name it. People were helping. So one by one, the people that were there, a part of the congregation, some family members, they all just started popping up with COVID. And then, it came to me, I want to say not COVID, but it was my turn to get tested when I caught a cold about 2 weeks ago.
You had it for a while. Like we even had to stop recording.
I had it for about
like
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
It hit me because I don't get sick often. I get sick once, maybe twice a year. Mm-hmm. And so this was my one sick. So usually when I get sick, it's pretty bad because it's the only time I'm going to get sick.
You get down with the sickness.
Get down with the sickness. Get up, get down with the sickness. Oh, wow. So it put me in the bed, and I wasn't worried about it. Unfortunately, just of course hearing the news, going outside, it's COVID. So I'm coughing, sneezing. I had a runny nose, sore throat. To me, I knew it was just a common cold, but for my family's safety and the people I was around, especially Lynn, I was just like, fuck it, let me just find out. So I went and got tested. The first time I got tested was an oral swab where they put it to the back of your motherfucking throat, like, to the dangly thing in the back of your throat type shit. That was uncomfortable as fuck. And then the second time I had to go, I had to do the nasal swab. Thankfully, they let me do it myself. Very uncomfortable, very tricky. If you're not comfortable with depth perception and hand-eye coordination, you will poke yourself in the motherfucking brain. Mm-hmm. However, that worked out. I was negative again, thankfully. Like I said, it was just kind of like the common cold. It just blew over in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I'd like to give myself a little extra time for recovery. But it's one of those things where I was nervous the second time. Like the first time I got tested, I was like, fuck this. I don't have it. I'm just doing it because she said I should do it. When I thought I might actually have this shit, I panicked for like an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was just like, oh shit, this could be the real thing. Mm-hmm. Like everything's going to have to change. I'm going to have to like maybe leave, my apartment for a little while. Fucked if I know, whatever, because we can't jeopardize everybody. We're still doing stuff with the family, moving stuff around with the church. I was still interacting with people. So it was kind of one of those things where I was more afraid that I had it because everybody talked about it as though you could get it, like as though you already had it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you were just waiting to find out.
Right.
So that messed with my head a little bit, but it also gave me some perspective when I got the negative test back. Was just like, hey, it does have a 90-some% rate. Was it recovery or survivability about the virus? So as long as, and obviously I'm not in that upper demographic. I'm 32. I'd like to consider myself somewhat fairly in good shape. So I knew even if I had it, I was going to be all right. But it was just that thing where it was like, oh shit, like I don't want to get somebody else infected.
Yeah, no, I get it. It sucks. It's like you don't know really. It's a really quick hit to the stomach, like a gut check.
Yeah.
To be like, all right, things should be going relatively well, and then all of a sudden you get hit with that sidewinder of, am I going to have to change everything?
Right.
Like you said, putting it on the back burner in your head, there's a really high success rate of surviving.
Yes.
So to even feel it, it's like that quick term of, all right, it's not cancer, but I could still get really sick and affect other people. So, and then the whole self-quarantine thing. Like, if you're living with people, where the fuck would you go to quarantine?
Where do you go?
Unless you kick all them out, and they have to go somewhere for 2 weeks. You're locked down.
Do you live in my car?
No, and it sucks. There's a lot of jobs. I know a lot of people that have had to deal with that situation where they don't even have it. Yes. But then when they go to... when their jobs find out that they may or may not be sick, they get forced into quarantine. If you don't have sick time or you don't have any time to take off, you're being forced to not work, even though it might just be allergies.
Right, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Why aren't we getting like quarantine sick time, quarantine pay?
Because
with my job, if I catch COVID, I have to use all of my sick time, all of my unpaid.
All these jobs are doing it.
And then if I happen to have something on the side, whatever that may be, they'll use that. Oh no, I can do FMLA.
Mm-hmm. That's so what I
so. If I catch a virus
they won't
that
help you.
Didn't start,
they won't help
I'm
you.
still gonna have to take a cut out of my paycheck.
They won't help you because they're barely surviving, being able to keep us afloat with some of the stuff.
No, bro, this is what I'm talking about. This is where I have a problem. It's for specific situations just like this. This is where our taxes should have been going. This is where all this motherfucking money that we've been paying out for stimuluses and for taxes and the cost of living.
I totally fucking forgot. We were supposed to get another stimulus.
Yeah, we were supposed to. Well, November might happen. Still might. November.
Probably won't. I forgot about it.
Probably won't. Yeah. But it's one of those things where we're paying all of this money, billions of dollars into the system. And what the fuck have we gotten for it? Nothing. Nada. You're an essential worker. Congratulations. Yeah. Here's your cookie, bitch. Go clock in.
I've been working day in, day out.
I work every single day, 8 to 10 hours a day. I got to take phone calls regardless if you consider that essential or not. I'm not unemployed, so I consider myself essential. We get no extra time off. We get no extra pay. Lynn doesn't get hazard pay.
Oh, no.
My mom, who's out there on the street doing what she's got to do. No, not what you think, but she's
the way you said.
I know. I'm so sorry.
I was like, I hope your mom isn't hearing this, because that just sounds horrible.
Sorry, my mom works for the state. She checks licenses. But she's out there doing what she's got to do, constantly exposed to people. My stepfather works for the state, constantly exposed to people. Yeah. And it's just like, dude, so once COVID's over, what do we get? What do we get? We get a pat on the back. We get a good job. You survived.
Survival,
now keep
man.
fucking working.
It's survival. I know it sounds shitty to say, but I've always had this mentality or this mindset where I take care of myself.
You have to.
I take care of myself and everybody around me, but I don't expect anybody to take care of me.
Yeah, because if you do, you're going to be disappointed.
You're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to end up dying. You're going to end up being let down. You're going to end up being hurt. I've always had this mentality for a very long time, and I think my dad. I'm going to shout out to Notch.
Hey.
I thank him for getting me to be able to raising me to kind of put me in that mentality of I have to hustle to provide for myself because it is just going to be me. And in order for me to take care of the people I do care about, I have to work harder. Yes. You got to be a hardworking motherfucker, and you got to work hard and push through all this bullshit. Right. So then when you do have the people, like you said, the people that are struggling, people that need help, that the government isn't going to help them, the city's not going to help them, their jobs aren't going to help them, you have to be the one to help them. I know it's not more or less like all heroes wear capes kind of thing or a superhero concept, but I've always had that mentality where it's like,
you never know.
I don't rely on anybody to back me because I know I'm going to be able to take care of myself 10 times over, because for every person, I need to be able to take care of that X amount of people that are in my life. Right,
that's fact.
And I'm hoping coming out of this, a lot of people will kind of get that savage outlook on life of, all right, I was failed from the government. I was failed from my job. I was failed from these places that I thought had my back. Right. They don't. Right. So rather than sitting there crying and saying, hey, I can't fucking believe they let me down. They're not going to help me. Now you need to figure out a way to do this shit on your own. Yes. Stop putting your hands out for fucking reach outs. Yes. I know if I'm hurt or injured, I know how to fix myself. Yes. I know if I am struggling on money, I know how I need to go get money. I know if I'm struggling for food, I know how to hunt for food. Yes. I know that if I'm in a situation where, I need to get to fucking work, I'll find a fucking way. If I need, I don't know, like there's so many different aspects of how to survive as an individual, and I feel like a lot of people now in our era, they don't know how to survive outside of just themselves. Well, it becomes a congregation.
They don't know how to help.
They don't know how to help. It becomes a congregation where people need to lean on other people in order to get through the fucking day. Dude, suck it the fuck up. Yes. I'm like this comes across to my two topics that I wanted to for my little mid-roll thing are things that people rarely come across. Yes. So last week I was again, of course, my fucking life. I might as well be a fucking lifeguard at this point. I was at the pool. I showed you the video, right? Of the fire and everything like that. Yeah. Yes. So, I come across so many different scenarios, and as much as this job has been a life-changing experience, I know if I go into anything else, it'll never be into the same. Yeah, I'm unshakable at this point. Things get thrown in front of me, like someone could die in front of me, and I just kind of shrug my shoulders off into it and figure out. I need to figure out how to adapt to it and fix it, or do something in order to suppress it. And keep moving. It sucks is because it's starting to get to me to where I'm very cold. Yeah. I'm a very empathetic and loving individual, but I've started to kind of shut my emotions off to things that are happening because I see it so often. Yes. And your job doesn't train you how to deal with it. Exactly. So I was at work, and I was standing next to one of the officers. We're going to call him, his name is Dennis. It's not he's going to really listen to it anyways. Hi, but I was standing next to Dennis at the pool, and where how the pool is, you walk in through the main entrance near the beach bar. You've got this giant wave pool that is like it's a wave pool. It's literally a giant beach that just where the waves pool. It's got sand and stuff like that. In the far right corner, you got something called the lazy river. Everybody knows the lazy river is. It just goes goes in fucking circles. To the right of you, you have a gate. You have multiple gates to multiple side exits beside the main one, and this one links to something called the pool path. Pool path is no bigger, I want to say, than like the width of this apartment. Yeah, it's big enough just to fit small vehicles through. Oh, okay. So individuals will walk through it. Me and Dennis are sitting there. We're standing kind of near where the lazy river is, right before you get to the gate where the pool path links to. And Dennis looks over at me and he goes, can you smell smoke? We thought it was just the restaurant cooking, because there's a restaurant right there called Border Grill, where they've got they're cooking and stuff like that, and the restaurant's going off, and all of a sudden we look over, like, well, that's a different kind of smell. That's not like cooking smell. That's like burning smell.
Right.
We look over to our right, and you see this big cloud of smoke go up, and then it's just a blue flame shoots up, and you hear pop.
Oh.
Fucking yes. Fucking propane tank blew off to the side of the fucking wall.
Yeah.
Shot this blue flame up the side of the building where this restaurant was, and then you just see this bright orange flame. So we look at each other like, oh fuck, it's a fire. It's a fire right next to palm trees, right next to everything. Yeah. You see this thing just it looks like a bonfire. It's burning fast. We go to walk over to, or we run over to that spot. You can see it, and the fire is so massive that you see it going off where this little bridge links to where the pool is. So you see all the pool people are looking over, and they're seeing it. They're fucking recording it. They're trying to figure out where the fire's coming from. Mind you, the wall right next to it, people are eating inside of a restaurant.
Oh, fuck.
These propane tanks were lined up on the back side of the building where the restaurant was. They're still sitting there eating their steaks and their fish tacos, just minding their business and stuff like that. Dennis goes running into the backside of the North Convention to make sure there's nobody in there. We're dispatching saying you need to call CCFD, Clark County Fire Department, to go and bring it because there's a fucking fire. I go into Border Grill to go grab the fire extinguisher and tell them like, hey, you guys need to get everybody out of here because there's a fire on the backside of this wall. These fucking people look over at me and they go, well, can we finish our food first? Like with their pinkies out. I look at the staff. I was like, are you no, go. After that, you hear the second part of that propane start to pop off to the side, and then you hear that fire roar up the backside of the fucking thing. So everybody looks at each other like, okay, this is obviously a serious situation.
Yes.
They're already pushing back a quarter side of the pool, which is still on the other side of the pool path because the fire is getting so big that people are starting to see.
Nice.
And I try to go get a fire extinguisher because, they train us on how to pretty much use a fire extinguisher. It's common sense. Mind you, did I show you what this fucking fire extinguisher looks like? It's not a fucking, it's not a handheld fire extinguisher. This thing looks like, what is that movie with Cuba Gooding Jr., Men of Honor?
Oh, Cookie!
It looks like a diving suit, like an O2 tank. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This thing is 80 pounds. Yes. It's massive.
It's huge.
I look at Border Grill, I was like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, well, it's the only thing we have.
What the fuck is this?
And I'm like, yes, well, okay, I can't, I don't, I have to, I'm dragging a dead body. I have to drag this thing over to the fire. As me and Lang look at each other like, okay, we're going to go to try to put this fire out. Look at it, and the difference between that fire extinguisher, because I don't know if people know, there are different types of extinguishers. This one was meant for grease fires.
Right.
That's a chemical fire. So you can't use that for it without it backdrafting into where the flame is.
Stupid.
It's like I'm trying to throw gasoline into a fire. It's only going to end up amplifying it. So we go to put it down, and Lang looks at it, he goes, we can't use this, man. And I go, oh, no, it's fine. Let's just pop the lid. Because I just, more or less, I wanted to put this fucking thing out. I want to kind of, I was like, never got to do it, so let me go try and do it. I go around the corner to see where the fire is. CCFD is still coming, but we still have to find a way to get it to where it's not just going to keep popping off these fucking propanes.
Somewhat, yeah.
That was the most heat I've ever experienced in my life. This flame was so fucking radical. It's like when you watch the shows and they try to make fire sound like it's super dramatic, so it's got like a dragon roar in the background or like a cat.
Fire Nation.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I'm doing like Avatar dances into the fucking water. I'm trying to water bend it in and put the fire out. I felt so much heat come from that thing. It's like when you go to open up an oven.
Like the oven door.
And all heat hits you, amplify that times 10. That's like you could literally taste the fire was going so long and so high against the wall, it was starting to melt the what is this?
Oh, like the drywall.
The drywall, and the drywall was dripping down to the ground.
That's fucking.
So it looked like lava pretty much at that point, and you could taste the texture of the drywall. Me and Dennis look at each other, we're like, no, because there's no fucking way. We can't put this shit out. We dragged the fire extinguisher farther back. It's still burning and melting the side of the wall. By that point, CCFD showed up, all the supervisors showed up, other departments showed up. There was this fucking lady from risk management that came out. She looked like a Muppet. She walked out like Kermit, like, just running up and down the fucking thing. Just make sure you evacuate these people and move these people over here and make sure there's nobody in Porter Grill. And we're like, we already took care of that. It's already done. We'll get a fire extinguisher. We already tried that. Make sure there's no one in the restaurant. They still want to eat their flaming young. Make sure there's nobody at the pool. They still have a few more minutes in the lazy river. Anyways, that all got situated. CCFD came in. They broke one of the fire hydrants on the backside because their water is the same thing. It's meant to deal with specific kind of fires. They don't have anything unless it's they're called foam bombs. It's super fucking cool. It's kind of like they I've seen they have like they look like Batman. They're arsenals of little gadgets. Like one thing, it actually vacuums and sucks the air out of a fucking room.
Nice.
So if it's an enclosed area, they throw it in there and it makes a pop. It sounds like bubble wrap.
Nice.
And what it'll do is it'll suck all the air out of the room in order to trap to smother the fire.
Right.
The only thing is that you can't use that in a room full of people.
Die!
You'll suck the oxygen out of everybody's fucking body. But this one, they have these little foam canisters that they'll throw in there and it'll literally just explode and wrap the fire in.
Nice.
They didn't want to do that just because it's all meant for enclosed areas. This is on the backside of an outside area.
So for those of you who game, it doesn't have a good AoE.
AoE, yeah. There's no what is it? Area of effect. So they cracked on the water mains, came in there, sprayed the shit out, and then they broke down the wall that was protecting the propane tanks to move it off to the side. So CCFD came, they finally put it out. That took about like an hour and a half. Yeah. By that time I was at the end of my shift. Like, I'm sitting there standing there with Dennis, and Dennis is like, 65, 70 years old. He's an older bike officer. He looks at me and he does the funniest fucking thing. You ever seen Lethal Weapon? Yeah. He sits there, looks at me, he goes, I'm too old for this shit. looks back at me, goes, I'm gonna go get a Coke from the ER and just wait for this shit to blow over. You come in? I was like, yeah, man. Just give me a minute.
Well, it's funny because when you originally told me that story, do you remember that G.I. Joe spoof we used to watch?
Oh my God, yeah, with
me when they're in the kitchen, and he's like, Daddy, and he's like, get the fuck out of here, get the fuck out.
Pretty much, yeah, and they're running around.
I just imagine you doing that. You're just like, get the fuck out of here, and they're just like,
they don't know what to do themselves.
They don't know what to do. People panic, and it's. I'm sorry. When you do security for so long, it is funny because you try to tell people to do stuff to make sure they don't panic, and then they're like, "No, fuck you, Paul Blart."
Yeah,
and then shit hits the fan, and then they look at you like, "I'm panicking."
Yes, they expect you to come in there and start, picking up the scraps for them, save their lives, and it's like reverts back to what my previous statement was: is that people. I'm hoping coming out of this are going to start to find ways to strengthen their own. If you take the time to treat your body as if, or your mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical, as you being a sculpture. Yes. Was it sculpture? Sculptor?
You mean like marble?
Kind of like if you're chisels.
Yeah, like a
you
sculptor.
need to do fine chiseling on parts of you that you feel are weak. Expose yourself to situations, not that are going to kill you. Don't take it out of context.
Please
but
don't.
Put yourself in situations to where you're afraid of something, so then you can actually deal with it properly without it taking effect. Because it's like the equivalent. I own a boa constrictor. Like I was terrified of snakes.
Crazy bastard.
I was like, what? In order for me to get out of that concept, I need to be able to handle one. My roommate at that time, he had a big ass, like 7-foot size boa constrictor, and after you have them around a little bit, even after you get bit by one, it's not that bad.
Nah.
But it puts you in the mentality to realize. Fear is a controllable substance that you can deal with, and you have to bypass that in order to actually enjoy things.
This is true.
Take it out of that YOLO factor of you only live once. You're trying to enjoy things, but you also need to be able to be prepared for when something's going to happen. Yes. My second story, I'm kind of pushing it on the time that we have it. Yeah. The second story was something that came up yesterday, which I do want to bring up to people's attention just because people are very naive and oblivious to what happens around in the world. I was, again, at the fucking pool, doing the same fucking thing I always do at the goddamn pool. It's like I don't work for a fucking casino. They put me at the pool as a pool security officer. I got a call from not the front desk, the pool supervisors. Super discreet, super incognito. They come up to me. They call me over the radio saying that they need hotel security to come over there to speak to a employee because the employee's having a panic attack. I'm like, okay, great. So I get over there. There's 2 employees. They're sitting in the back office, and before I go in there, the pool supervisor comes up to me, and there's like fucking 10 of them. Oh yeah. They're like, hey, so one of my employees got a death threat, and I was like, okay, is it somebody here? And they're like, oh no, it was through a text message. And, 2 of them got these messages from the same number, but they don't know what the number is. And it was like a 925 area code, which California, I looked into it and everything like that. And this thing was very, very graphic. It was in detail saying what they were going to do to them. It was pictures of, like, if you ever go through the dark web, like when the cartel cut people up with chainsaws and machetes, like the dismembered bodies and heads and stuff like that. It was so fucking dark. These are kids, mind you. Like this one of them was a girl. She's sitting there fucking shaking.
Oh, I'm sure.
And the guy's like practically dry heaving in the fucking trash can because people aren't accustomed to seeing that. Not to say I see it on a fucking daily, but it's like I've been across enough DBs and stuff like that to kind of be numbed out to it. Yeah, desensitized to the situation. So it's like I remember hearing about it, prior to, because I've had friends and relationships and stuff like that where people have gone across to, how the cartel run, where it's like they come in like that, and it's more or less, it's a mass text. What it is that they sent the message out to tell these people that you need to pay them a certain amount of money,
right.
And if you don't, this is what's going to happen to you and your family. And people message back in a panic, I don't know what you're talking about. This isn't me. You have the wrong number, which is exactly what the employee did. And then it just came in with all these pictures and all this stuff saying I need $1,000 in this amount, and you're fucking with my business, and it freaked people out because now all of a sudden it becomes a personal thing. But you have to reassure them it's like, it's a bot of somebody spamming something out because they want to get your information. And with how social media and how there's a Netflix thing right now where it's called not the dark web. I don't know what it's called. It's talking about how social media, it's called like the social dilemma or something like that. And it explains how social media has been able to enwrap certain people, like the equivalent of me. And you keep talking about Sour Patch Kids, and then all of a sudden I go and sit in my car, I go to open up social media, and it gives me an opportunity to say, hey, you can go buy Sour Patch Kids at this store. Not only did I never look it up in my phone, but somehow because it overheard us, it becomes a thing. So this message, it was so graphic that these kids are like freaking out, like, how do they know, how do I know they're not going to attack me? And I was like, well, not only do they not mention your name, they don't mention where you're working. Do you have any do you have any family here that might be considered, it might be more or less towards the Latin community, just because a lot of them come from Mexico or any vicinities like that. So it's more or less just be aware of what's going on when it comes to your surroundings, because people go about their lives just, we were just talking to her about that, about like if you don't tell them that human trafficking and narcotics and all that stuff are a thing,
people don't know.
People are very oblivious to it. The same thing with having your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi on. Like I have an RDF blocker on my wallet because I've had my cards hacked before.
Right.
So now it's like you can't just go up to it and Bluetooth tap it with like your phone, like an Apple Pay or Samsung Pay. In order to steal your information. It's the same thing when their Bluetooth and their Wi-Fi is on all the time. Anybody's able to gain access to that. So because of that, these people panic. But long story short, got them situated. My supervisors came through, took them to our CSO, our casino security office, and then Metro talked to them and kind of worked it out with them to kind of let them know the situation, because they come across that shit all the time. It's crazy. It's crazy, the things that happen behind closed doors, because if it's not advertised, people don't understand or even believe that it exists.
But it's like I was saying before, it's like a Batman Joker thing, because all of this, a lot of times when these people reach out to you, it's because they bought your information from somebody or off of some service. A lot of your information, unfortunately, is public. And damn near nowadays, anything can be considered fair game as far as public information, especially with the people out there that dox motherfuckers and just spam all their shit out there anyway. That's kind of the issue that I have with a lot of these services and businesses and things that we have to go through, is because you have to sign your life away. You have to literally give a lot of these places the authority to sell your information use their services.
Even for games. Like if you try to download
getting
a
an
game,
oil change.
If I try to download a game to play on my phone, it'll be like, it needs access to my photographs.
Your call log, your photographs, your emails.
You shouldn't.
It wants to know last time you took a dump. Like it's the weirdest shit, and I don't understand how people are still getting terrorized by these online, these web terrorists, And unfortunately, elderly people are still getting hit the worst, because unfortunately they tend to be a little more gullible and or sympathetic to the situation.
Yeah, they're susceptible to the situation.
And they just roll on with it. And so, it's got to be one of those things where I know it's a lot going on, and I know it's a lot of information, guys, but you got to arm yourself, and you got to be aware of what's out there. Just because you have a smartphone and they say it's smart, just because they tell you what it's doing doesn't mean it's actually doing that thing. So do your research, read the fine fucking print, make sure you know what you're getting into. But yes, a lot of these times, just like Lynn was saying, a lot of this stuff is public information. So these people are scamming you with your own information. Don't give into it. Do your research. Do not be afraid to call the local authorities or report these people. They need to be shut down.
I agree.
Definitely. Really quick, before we close out, I'm going to throw in my little 2 scoops of awesome. Along with Lynn was saying, in line of being prepared to take care of yourself, I also don't want you to forget about sometimes a random act of kindness. Coming from the heart. Like Lynn said, I'm a very spiritual person. Like I talked about earlier in the episode, my church, we had to close it down earlier this year. And so, that's been kind of weighing on me for a little while. And, for a lot of us, especially those of us who can't go to church like we normally would, this is also kind of a test of faith. You know, it's just trying to hold on to your spirituality throughout the time of crisis. So, long story short, my 4-year-old, we live in an apartment. As him and my girlfriend leave, she takes him to daycare in the morning. He runs by one of our neighbors, gives him a high five, says hi or whatever. You know, completely cool, normal shit. One of these days, my girl and the kid were out. The neighbor just so happened, he goes to a church, just so happened to have us on his mind and brought us over just a box of random, like, groceries. Like, he gave us squash and chocolate milk and
that's dope.
Regular milk, potatoes, chicken patties. Like, just a box of, I call it random shit, but, you know, it's that get-by stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow, like, people still are capable of that. And don't get me wrong, obviously we can go on TV, you can go online and see stuff like that all day, but
it took
when you're in there,
that person took the time out of their day to put things together when a lot of us barely even want to get out of bed or walk to the fucking fridge or go to the store.
They don't know me from Adam.
No.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't know this guy walking down the street, but him and his girl took the time just from hanging out, just from seeing my little boy. That's what's crazy. Just from seeing my little boy. You know, it was like God put it on their heart to bless us. And, you know, I'm thankful for that. And that was actually a really nice thing. It was kind of like a faith me up.
It is. It's a boost. It's the equivalent of, you know, if you put good in, you get good out.
Yes.
So you're putting in good kindness into somebody, in exchange they're implementing good kindness,
and then they gave it back.
Yeah, they want to give it back. So having that energy and pushing it into another individual, regardless if they want it or not. You don't know if that's going to be the change of a day for them. You don't know if it's going to be change. There could be people that be having a really, really hard time. I've had a lot of incidents, especially with the shit that I go through at work, in and outside of work, where the smallest act of kindness can completely change a week's worth of garbage, a week's worth of just where, like,
all we hear is death. Be afraid. Don't trust your neighbor.
No, there's no,
be
be afraid of white people. There's no positive influence or positive reinforcement. So giving random acts of kindness I feel like that needs to be it doesn't have to be a daily thing or a weekly thing or monthly thing. It just needs to be a sporadic thing. It needs to be something that if you feel the urge to do something for somebody or don't feel, I don't know how to explain it. Like, just give that energy of positive. If you feel like you're in a good, positive, energetic mood, and you see somebody that is down, or someone that's not even down at all, that might be shown that they look like they're great, but mentally they're having a hard time.
Yes.
Be there to make them smile, to make them laugh, to, like you said, share treats, share love, share whatever it is that you have. Sharing is going to give you that growth expert to be able to be like, all right, I'm good now. I was okay. I was surviving. I was stable, but this person just pushed me to want to do a little bit more. Yes,
it's that one good thing in a sky of darkness. It's that one little piece of light, and that's all you needed. That's all you need, just that one little light at the end of the tunnel, like me and Lynn always say. So it was very nice to have that happen, and it makes you want to pay it forward. Really quick, a few weeks ago, I was going in through the drive-thru to get some fast food, and the person ahead of me paid for my food.
Oh, I've seen that before.
So then I went ahead and paid for the lady behind
it becomes
me.
a Congo line at that point. Yeah, it becomes super random acts of kindness.
When did this become a thing? But, you know, just keep that shit in mind. Tell us... Tell us about your experiences. We want to know how you've brightened somebody else's day and how you kind of shine some light on their dark situation. Hit us up. Our email will be down in the description. Obviously, if you want to hit us up and have full-blown access to us, you want to go ahead and sign up on our Patreon.
Yes.
We finally set up our tiers, and they are
the tip of the iceberg.
They are the tits.
It's phenomenal. The Patreon, we do have finally...
We have, what, 5, 6 patrons?
Yeah, 5, 6 patrons. We actually have people that are actually willing to actually help the cause. And they're very, very minimal. I wouldn't really call it more as a charity. It's you're helping us grow this podcast to be able to become, you know, better versions of ourselves. Like, it gives us the push. We put all of our blood, sweat, tears, all of our money. I'm grinding out this overtime in order so I can actually get the merch up and going. And it's not like we're getting any funding out of this. I have to pay out of pocket. D has to pay out of pocket in order to take the time, in order to push these episodes, in order to get the merch running and get everything else running. We want this to happen. And in doing that, having our patrons assist us with what tier 1? I guess.
No. I'm not going to tell you.
Oh,
you
no,
need to go to the Patreon.
Which will be in the link.
Link will be in the description.
There'll be URL in there that you can click on, and it'll give you everything you need to know.
Check out the tiers. Sign up. It's really cheap. I promise you. You won't even feel it. Also, check out our Audible sponsor for Audible trial. We want you to sign up for Audible. It's a free trial. You don't have to worry about it. They tell you when you're going to get charged for it. They have wonderful podcasts. They have comedies. They have documentaries. They have autobiographies. Anything that's written down that you can talk, that they can record, boom, it's on Audible. Check it out. Free trial. You click it. You get something out of it, and so do we. We love you. Moving forward. All right. So, in wrapping this up, Lynn, you got anything else?
I am bone dry. My palms are sweaty.
Oh, good.
My knees weak. Arms are heavy.
Oh.
Is there vomit on my sweater?
It might be your mom's spaghetti.
It might be my mom's spaghetti.
Fuck it,
it's really hot in here.
This is D.
And this is Lynn.
Keep your head in the motherfucking clouds.
And keep your feet on the ground, always moving forward.
Project Airwaves signing out. We love you.
We love you in your faces.
Keep them covered. Cover your face. Wear your face condoms. I don't want your shit on my face. I don't want to breathe the air you're shitting out. Okay. Keep your stuff to yourself. If you're asymptomatic, turn the other direction. Don't come near me. If you cough, if you sneeze, if you even wink funny, I swear I will find you.